3, 2, 1, go!
I'm not gonna talk about the whole of nonviolent communication, obviously, because the system is in some ways simple, but also in another sense complex. If you really want to understand it, there are so many details. So I thought the things that we can focus on today is the difference between strategies and needs. And in nonviolent communication, the difference between, well, I focus on the needs first. A need is everything that people need to live a happy, satisfactory life, or to be able to live in general. So there are biological needs like food or breathing, or exchange of liquids in the body. Sorry. And there are also social needs like respect and responsibility. And a need is always something abstract, so it doesn't, you can't grab it, you can't see it. You can't see respect, you can't see food as a general term, but you can see examples of food. And these are strategies. So that's the difference. Everything that we do in life is a strategy to fulfill some needs. So, for example, when we're sitting here now, maybe my need is to contribute, because it makes my life more wonderful to contribute to other people's lives. So I'm contributing by explaining you a little bit of nonviolent communication. And maybe your need here is for growth. That's why you're not focusing so much on the meta theatre just now, but focusing more on the writing. I assume. It's all assumptions. I don't know what's going on in your mind. But just to explain this. Maybe sitting down is meeting your need for comfort. And maybe looking at me is nourishing our needs for being in touch and feeling connected. Being here in general is probably serving the need for growth and the need for joy and being connected. Nonviolent communication teacher of mine, Johannes Henn, pointed out to me that another important characteristic of a need is that it actually, when I think of it and try to get into this feeling of living in this reality of this need being met, for example, when I imagine that my need for love is completely met, the feeling should be something that opens me and brings me more to life. More to life in the sense of I feel that I have energy, I feel that I'm in a very positive way, somatically changed by the fulfillment of this need. Needs are abstract and universal. So we all share them. We all have the need for love, for being close, for respect. Maybe there are some small areas where individuals don't have a specific need, like maybe people who are asexual, maybe they have no sexual need, I don't know, I can't say this for sure. But in general, all the needs are something shared amongst all the people in the world. And strategy, every strategy is something that we do in order to fulfill a need. So as I said, all the examples of you being here and so on, these are all strategies of getting our needs met. Strategies are individual and concrete. So we see examples of them in life, and everyone makes their own choices. And this leads us to a really crucial point in understanding nonviolent communication. Because conflicts only arise on the level of strategies. Because that is where we all have our own way of doing things, the way we want to do things. But once we see the needs of the people who do a strategy that we are not okay with, we can at least be okay on the level of the need. So once we get to the need level of understanding each other, not just understanding what other people do or what they say, but to see what needs are behind whatever they do or say or whatever, we can come back to the human side because we can see our own needs reflected there, just in a very different way, in a practical sense. They are turned into something very different, but it's still the same need. And this is, of course, something wonderful for conflict resolution, because if we get to see the needs of one another, we can understand each other. Doesn't mean we have to be sympathetic about one another. Doesn't mean we need to like the other person in a way. But if we truly get into this connection, it's so much easier for us to find different strategies to get together. Because then we see, okay, this person maybe actually just wanted security, wanted to be safe. And I can always understand when people want to be safe. Maybe I'm not okay with him carrying a gun to meet his need for safety. But every need has 45 billion strategies of how it can be met. And so maybe we will find one that will meet both our needs. So maybe even in this case, if we're talking about guns, maybe my need is safety, which is why I disagree with this other person carrying a gun, and maybe their need is safety too. And so we can maybe understand each other. Okay, we both need safety. What other ways can we find than you carrying a gun to make to meet these needs for safety? And this is can be very fascinating, because it opens up the whole world of conflicts that had been narrowed down to these strategies, because people always, in my experience, fight about the strategies. And then they say, okay, this person did this, and this person did that, and this and that, and this gets so big. But once we see this, it can really ease up the situation. And it also concerns inner conflicts, where I myself am struggling and I see, okay, maybe I don't know if I want to live in this town, or I don't know if I want to live in that town. Okay, so these are two different strategies. Which needs would be met by living in this town? And which need would be met by living in that town? Okay, maybe here it's more, okay, I have a job, I have this security, economic security and so on. Here maybe I have more friends, or maybe my partner is there. So here the need for love and a partner is more met. Okay, which is the need that is calling you most in the moment? And so maybe that I then see, okay, it's about the work, because I've been unemployed for so many years now. I really need this work, because also it contributes to my need of having a purpose in life, and not just hanging around all day, maybe whatever. So then maybe I decide for the town where my friends don't live and my partner doesn't live. Okay, then of course I might get into trouble, because I'm realizing, okay, I want to take this decision now because it gives me purpose, but then my need for love is not being met. Okay, I'm in this situation now, I want to live there, and my need for love is not being met. What strategies can I find when I move into this town to still get my need for love met? Maybe we find a way that we're on the phone every day and we meet every weekend, or maybe my partner can also move there, because there's also this possibility. Maybe I don't know, many possibilities of how you can deal with this. But the important aspect in that nonviolent communication set is, don't think about it in terms of strategies, but start to think about it in terms of needs, and then you will see which possible strategies emerge from this way of thinking about it. This awareness of needs can also change permanent inner conflicts that we have. For example, in the domain of beliefs. So when I look at a belief that I have, for example, I had the strong belief for many years, I cannot move in a way that is interesting on stage. My body is not structured clearly enough for me to be able to move on stage. Okay, what need does this belief serve? Because this belief also came into my mind to serve a certain need. Everything that we do serves a certain need. Doesn't mean it does it in a good way, in a sufficient way, but it is there, so we can also honor this need, honor this belief in that way. So maybe, for example, this thing about me moving on stage, maybe it nourishes my need for protection. I don't want to be exposed in that way, and so I take, okay, better not do any dance on stage, because it protects me, and protection is something really worth looking for, right? It's a need, very important need. But then, on the other hand, what need doesn't it meet, or does it stop from getting met? And maybe that's my need for expression and freedom, and creativity and inspiration. And so, if I want to get these needs met, all of them, okay, maybe what can I do? One thing is I could change my belief. I see, okay, actually the inspiration is more important for me at the moment than the protection. If that's my decision, then I can change the belief. If it isn't, if the protection is more important, maybe stay with the belief for the moment and see where it takes me in the long run. But for the moment, if it's, let's say it's the inspiration and creativity is more important, then I can see, okay, either I change the belief by saying, at the moment, I'm not happy with my moving skills, but I can learn it. Could be a new belief to change the sentence that I have in my mind that is shaping my actions and narrowing my life to a new sentence where I can see, okay, I can learn, I can grow, and then we have the need for growth also involved, which opens a lot to me. I can see, okay, maybe I'll go to dance classes very regularly, or other kinds of movement classes, and see that with time I will become so free that I can move on stage. Yeah, this will already be a strategy how to work with this new belief. So if the new belief is I can learn how to move, then this would be one possible way of doing it. And there, of course, there are millions. And yeah, going to dance classes is one of them. How to use this, how to apply this is of course a different matter. But in our way of thinking, these things can be so helpful to ease up conflicts that we have with other people and with ourselves.